I bought this truck at auction about a month and a half ago, and I'm going to go over the numbers for this truck in today's video. Now, if you've been watching my video series, essentially I've been working on different parts of this truck throughout. I still have to go through and do a quick vacuum before I sell it and those sorts of details. But honestly, like, I'm ready to list it. It's ready to go. And I'm personally using it. I like the truck. I'm personally using it. So, you know, I'm going to have to do like a quick vacuum before somebody comes and sees it, that sort of detail. But beyond that, it is ready to roll. All of the check engine lights are resolved. All the ABS issues are resolved. All of the it's got not brand new, but it's got used tires on it. Again, I bought used tires. If you've been watching my series, I purchased 4 used tires, Goodyear Wranglers, SRAs, great tires, all of them great years, all of them great tread. They've got like 1/2 to 3/4 of the tread life left. Really, really good deal on those. But everything is fixed, everything is ready to go. So I'm going to go over the breakdown today. So first things first, I want to start with the purchase price on this truck. Total price that I paid for this truck was $6,725. Now that was the purchase and the auction fees. So the auction charges like a dock fee. They charge a 10% fee. My original bid was only $6,000 on this truck, and total all in from the auction was $6,725. Next was taxes, title, tag, all of that sort of stuff, which actually that added up to more than what I was expecting. Here in South Carolina, which is where I'm located at, they charge like every time we register a new vehicle, they charge pretty decently high fees for the first time, and then it's cheaper like when you renew. So my total all in on that was $589.62. Next, I want to go over the cost of some of the repairs. So oil change, $83.14. Now it did include extra oil. It took 6 quarts, so I purchased 2 of the 5-quart things. I did use Valvoline Restore and Protect, so I made sure to use like a really good oil in it, so that was a bit more expensive. I purchased the authentic Mopar oil filter, so you know I was making sure that I did everything as good as possible on this truck. If I'm keeping it for myself, if I'm selling it, no matter what, I want to make sure it's done right. So that was going to be $83.14. That includes essentially 4 quarts of extra oil that I'll use on my next truck, which I've actually already purchased, and that'll be the upcoming videos in the series. Then I got cosmetics on there, so that's going to be $70.08. That was the running boards and the caps. If you haven't seen the videos, it is those caps on top of the running board and then the end caps as well. Then I had to pay for keys. So this truck actually only came with 1 key from the auction, and so I had to purchase an additional key. Because it's a 2015, I was able to purchase one that I could program myself, so that was nice. That saved me a good amount of money. So $70. That thing was like 50 something, and then I had to purchase keys for that topper. It didn't come with any keys for the topper, so I had to purchase those. I was right at $25 for that. So total for keys was $96.26. And then I had a check engine light for an evap code. So it was throwing some codes that hadn't turned into a check engine light yet. It said like small evap leak, those sorts of things. It said like a gas cap leak, and so I was like, okay, no big deal. Purchased a gas cap, like a generic one. It was like $10, and it immediately threw check engine light. I was like, okay. So I went ahead and bought the Mopar one. It was more expensive at like $35 or so, and check engine light did not go away. I was like, all right, well, still has another issue. Did some digging online, found out that there is a little canister, which I made a video on sometime in the last few days. And it's got like a little canister underneath there that you have to replace. It's like right on the gas tank. As soon as I replaced that, reset the check engine light, immediately went away, drove it for a couple of days. Now the gas cap light is off, so that is now good to go. Total for the evap fixing the check engine light was $58.09. Now, if you watch my videos, there were a couple other things I considered doing. So one was repairing or replacing this bumper. I did go ahead and decide just to leave it. It's not perfect. It is kind of bumped in a little bit. You can see it. It is noticeable from the front that it has like a little crease, a little dent on the bumper. It doesn't affect anything on the tires. You know, it's not in too tight or anything on those. And the other thing was I considered, let me show you. So I considered swapping out that stock radio for like one that's got the tablet and whatever. However, personally, like as someone who drives this truck, and I've been driving it pretty much since I bought it at auction, personally, the issue that I had with putting in a tablet is it removes your dial knobs. So actually adjusting like the volume and such would be difficult, and this doesn't have the volume and etc. on the steering wheel. So the only way to do it would be on the tablet, and to me I felt like that was more of a distraction, so I decided not to go ahead and replace that. So all in on this 2015 Ram that has 178, just crossed over 178,000 miles on it, is $8,602.24 that I have into this vehicle. That includes the tax, the title, the tag, all those sorts of things that I wouldn't have to pay if I was a dealer. So I could save that $500 and something and end up being. So that would have been nice, but I'm not a dealer, so I had to pay all of that to get it registered in my name. When I purchased it at the auction, you know, if you've got your dealer's license, you don't have to pay that. You don't have to deal with all that stuff. You don't have to buy the title, the tag, and then you can just, you know, transfer the title, whatever. Unfortunately, because I don't have a dealer license, that's an extra $500 and something out of my pocket. However, still all in, including that, was still $8,600. So it is ready to sell. Great tires, everything is fixed. ready to be cleaned and detailed. I'm going to do that before I sell it, before I grab the pictures on it. But as it is, as it sits, I firmly believe I'm going to be somewhere between the $10,000 to $12,000 range. Now, it might be a little bit higher, might be a little bit lower. I'm not 100% for sure. Like the market around here does have a clean title. So the market around here, man, salvage titles are going for around that 10K mark. So I'm thinking with a clean title, maybe I'll be able to get, 12, 13, somewhere in there. I'm going to probably list it in the upper 12s. See if I get any bites, clean title, take a picture of it, detailed, cleaned, all those sorts of details, go over, do a tread depth gauge on the tires, like all that sort of stuff. Make sure it's clean, make sure it's looking real nice for those pictures. And then I'm going to hopefully list it for 12, 13,000. Hopefully I'll sell somewhere in that range. But 2015 V8 Hemi inside of it, runs great, drives great, no issues at all. Has a nice topper. It actually has keys now on the back as well. So that is how much total I am into this truck. I purchased it, my original bid, $6,000. And after everything that I spent, including their fees and including the state's fees and all the costs to repair it and fix it and everything, I'm in a total of $8,600. So if I'm able to sell it, even if I'm able to sell it for 10, that's $1,400 profit. That wouldn't be too bad for a month and a half work, especially because it was just like a lot of it was just waiting time, truthfully. I'd order a part, I took it into the mechanics, he fixed the ABS, like all those sorts of things on it. And but overall, like, I feel like I should be able to definitely make some decent money on this truck in it at $8,600. So what do you think? How do you think I did on my first auction flip truck?